Rights. What do you have a right for, and why is it a bad thing to claim you have a right for something? The problem with the idea that you have a right to something starts with a misconception of what life is about. Life is about possibility. The possibilities to acquire, grow, and change. Life is not about a right to have something. In fact, even the comment, the right to life, is a misnomer, because a lot of people don't live very long after born. There are infant deaths that take place. You don't have the inherent right to life. You have the right for the possibility for life. And that's where the difference is. It's about the possibilities. It's not about what right you have or don't have. If you look at the list of the Bill of Rights, they're all about possibilities. You have the right to talk. It doesn't mean that someone's going to come up and talk for you and get what you want down to say down on a piece of paper and then come out and talk about it. It's about the possibility. So, looking at it that way, you say you have a right. You have a right to food. I have a right to food. Therefore, if a right means that the government has to give it to me. Well, if I have a right to food, that means I don't have to buy food. The government should be providing all my food for me. Here's the problem with that. It ignores the elements that are necessary to make the food. It ignores the farmer's rights. The farmer has a product. It's not really a right, but the farmer has a product. And the product is their food. They make it. It takes some time. It takes some effort. It takes some lots of work. They put it on the market. They get money in exchange for that to feed their families and to house their families and to take care of their land and to prepare for next year's crops. Well, if you tell the farmer that, hey, you know what? We in the government have determined that these people have a right to eat. We're just going to give them your food. Then you know what? That farmer's going to need help too now, because that farmer won't have enough money to pay for his food, housing, etc. You've basically impoverished him. Not only that, but you made it worse. You've mandated that he will work for the state without reward, so that these people can have their rights fulfilled. Now let's say you have the government provide a small amount of money to the farmer. And then you have a case where the government is deciding what the value of the goods are, based on some arbitrarily assigned government value, which is typically not based off of logic and reasoning. It's based off emotions and feelings. It feels right, to do this. Of course, for the farmer, there's some really real costs, and the government's not going to come in and start buying the gasoline to run the diesel to run the tractors, or any of the fertilizer or whatnot to run the farm. So you might very well destroy the farm in the name of doing that. You create a whole slope of problems, because then the farmer can't afford his goods. Then the government has to take over those purchases, and then the farmer can't afford something else, and the government has to take over something like that. And eventually you have the government controlling everything, trying to run everything at the same time, just because someone arbitrarily assigned a right to be fed. Same deal goes with universal health care. Some people like to say today, you should have a right to medical care. That's a right to it. Really? That really demeans the doctors, doesn't it? Because honestly speaking, the doctors have skills that they've trained hard and long to acquire. And they want to be rewarded for their skills and their efforts. To say you have a right to universal health care is to say to the doctor, hey, you know all the skills you learned and spent all that money learning, and you want to be paid for? Well, the government's decided you're asking too much money. We're going to tell you how much you're going to earn. And we don't care how much it took you to get there. It devalues people. There's an old saying, something given for free has no value. When you claim you have a right to something that you did not produce, then, and that you don't own, then you, by their very nature, are devaluing what it is you are asking for. Anyways, a comment on value and such. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.